Hey everyone, I hope you're taking it easy and your day has been great thus far. For this video, we'll be going through a quick unboxing and review of the AMK mini-series, G1 Soundwave, and G1 Soundwave was actually part of the original Wave 1 release. And this particular little model kit's released by YOLO Park, and I think it was around 2023-ish, give or take. And I think might have also been partly distributed by Doyusha as well. Now, going to why I said Wave 1, so recently YOLO Park have actually announced a Wave 2 round of miniseries, 6 Autobots. I would have referenced them in my previous Starscream video from a week ago, so feel free to check that one back out. I think I also may have left it as a comment in that particular video. Anyway, getting straight into things, here we have Soundwave, wrapping up the 3 Decepticons part of Wave 1. Very nice little G1 inspired artwork here of Soundwave against a very nice 1980s background style for the packaging. Does look very cool. Lots of that nice purple coming through. So that's that. I have another image of Soundwave here on the side as well. As for the back, final look at what the actual model kit of Soundwave will look like. Pretty much how we put him together. I've already covered it a few times in previous videos with these mini-series. Everything's pretty much pre-assembled. You're just putting everything together at the joints. The original Wave 1 release, pretty much wrapping up the Decepticons. Next 3 weeks we will have the 3 Autobots. Obviously Starscream, Megatron have had a little bit of extra coverage on the channel because I've done them as the blind boxes. So that was the packaging for the pretty much dedicated mini kit for Soundwave. So that's done. Time to have a look inside. And with everything out, so we do have a nice specific instruction booklet pamphlet for Soundwave. Here's another image of Soundwave. In fact, that may have actually been the image of Soundwave on the side of the box, was it? Yes, but a reflection of. That's very cool. On the back we just get a quick breakdown of the articulation for the model kit, which we've seen previously, and then inside pretty much the instructions on how to put Soundwave together. Thankfully he tends to be a bit more symmetrical, so a lot of things are done as left and rights. We will have some different manipulators, and he will have a hand weapon as well. Very cool. So that was the manual, which I probably will not use. As for the actual Soundwave tray, so here's the tray of all of Soundwave to, well, not together, all his components pretty much ready to go. Everything is either ball and socket or a peg joint, so it's going to be pretty easy to put together. He does look very cool with his basic color decor, some paint apps and things like that. His head does look extra cool here as well, so I'm going to try and put him together. I will not do it as a time lapse, just because I'm actually a bit time strained right now. So let's pretty much get Soundwave put together. Okay, with Soundwave now put together, here is Soundwave, who we'll have a look at in a quick minute. So pretty much the completed Soundwave. And like we have seen, we have some additional manipulators. We've got a pair of the open hands and a pair of pointed fingers. So with those two now out of the way, we'll just put those to the side. So completed Soundwave from the front, side profile, one from the back, and I will admit it's very cool that they've actually done the paint apps for the his radio dials. The other side, and I guess we'll see if we can do a nice close upper body shot. Detailing does look very nice, especially with some of these paint apps, so he does look very, very cool. Now, jumping straight into the articulation, so surprisingly his little mounted speaker, I guess, will actually move up and down. It won't move side to side because it's actually not a peg, it's actually more of a vertical rod that's actually, well, not rod per se, but it's not a circular peg, I dare say. It's probably the best thing to say. And now watch me struggle to put this back in. There we go. So yeah, that'll go up and down very nicely. His head will do a 360. In fact, I will take this off. The only problem is, like Starscream before him, the joint is very, very stiff. So unfortunately, I'm not going to try and do a full 360 there. But it can definitely has the potential to do it if you can get around the joint stiffness. As for the arms, nice full 360 here at the shoulder. We'll go all the way to the side as well. It's good, given that it's open up here. And because of 360, obviously we're going to get the front and side. We will have rotation up here at the upper arm, an elbow bend, which will go so far. And then we'll have rotation here at the hand, given that it's a peg joint. So in terms of the arms, definitely a good range of mobility. The shoulder joint for me doesn't seem too stiff, so that does help a little bit. And then as for his blaster, similar to his shoulder mounted one, it's just this rectangular type peg. Weapon does look a little bit hollow, unfortunately, but that's okay for the Scout. But it will definitely peg in quite nicely into the hand. As for the torso, full 360 here, no issues there. It does move quite nicely. As for the legs, so we'll have a pretty much front kick, a bit more of a cleaner back kick, and he actually will be able to do full splits. There you go. We do have this rotation up here at the top of the leg. As for knee bend, it will go all the way to the back like that and reset to the front. It's not going to have much more bend thereafter. As for the feet, it is ball and socket, so you'll get a little bit of movement there, but similar to his head, both his ball sockets here for the feet are quite tight. You will get a little bit of front and back, so that's always a good thing. And obviously you'll get that side to side if you can pull it off, but yeah, just be very mindful. The joint is very stiff. In fact, I unintentionally pulled some of this out. It looks like I have, but I can't hear it click anymore. So that is pretty much the breakdown of the articulation Soundwave will have. In terms of what I think about Soundwave, I mean, visually he does look very cool for this particular Scout. The paint apps that he has definitely does help. Is he completely paint accurate? Probably not. But everything, you know, that has been done does help. Obviously with the yellow here, some of the stuff on the legs, his cassette buttons, his main chest and his head obviously does help. And obviously the natural color separation in the blue and the white goes a long way as well. So from a color perspective, just right out of the packaging, he does feel relatively color accurate, relatively. Like Megatron and Starscream before him, putting him together was quite easy and straightforward. The running concern, which I'm hoping gets addressed in Wave 2, the ball and socket stiffness, notably feet and head. It's becoming a very consistent trend with some of these model kits so far. It's definitely not impossible to get around, but just bear in mind initially too much force can be detrimental, so definitely keep that in mind. But it's definitely not too bad. I'm sure over time some of those joints will hopefully weaken, and I do believe there are obviously ways out there to, I dare say, decrease the tightness of the joint, which is weird because most times you want to increase the tightness. So there is that. Articulation we've already covered, which is pretty good for this particular type of figure. As for the price points and stuff like that, the value is there if you definitely are keen on a Soundwave compared to the recent blind boxes. So costs a little more to know you're getting a Soundwave, but at least you know you're getting a Soundwave. Blind boxes, if you don't care about your lottery style chances, obviously can be good because you can get any particular figure of the 8 available to being, I don't want to say chase figures, but obviously alternative kits that weren't given a dedicated release like the first 6. So your pros and cons are basically, do I want a Soundwave or do I want to take a chance at a Soundwave but possibly get something that I know I couldn't get individually. So there is that, so definitely keep that in mind. But overall, Soundwave does look pretty cool. Now, we talked about he does have some extra manipulators, so it's obviously a good thing for some of your posing to have some of those hand options, and he's got a decent array of articulation, so you can get him in some okay poses, but he's not an action figure. He doesn't have everything an action figure would, and I think some of the joint stiffness does impact some of that. But overall, as I said, he's definitely not too bad. Now, because they are in arm's reach, so there's Soundwave. Let's start with Megatron. So Soundwave and Megatron side by side. Soundwave does appear to be somewhat shorter, so I'm assuming Megatron could be a 12 centimeter, and Soundwave and Starscream may only be 11 centimeters. But either way, the two of them together, for what basic articulation, basic paint apps and colors are there, they do look really cool. So that's with Megatron. And then if I grab Starscream, now Soundwave actually does look shorter than Starscream still, but at the same time, even the two of them together does look really cool. So definitely not too bad to have all 3 Decepticons here with Megatron, Soundwave, and Starscream. Definitely does look really cool having the 3 of them there. I'm sure it'd be a nice little pseudo-nemesis type bridge style having the 3 of them together. It's unfortunate that I'm not going to go delving too much into the blind boxes to try and get the recolor, but as I said, I've got another Starscream. I'll either repaint maybe or just actually detail up a bit more just to see what it would look like with a bit more panel lining, etc. Maybe a bit more color correcting. But yes, overall, I'm definitely glad I've got this little version of Soundwave, especially since that he hasn't been prevalent in every single model kit range. I think Flame Toys might have one. Yola Park tends to. There will be another version of Soundwave. I think he's going to be an AMK Pro that's just been recently released and available for pre-order. So at this particular scale, at the G1 look, it is very nice to have him available here. He does look very cool. Okay, going to wrap things up there. Try and keep this one a little bit short. So yes, that'll wrap up the 3 Decepticons, and in the upcoming, most likely 3 weeks, we'll be going through those 3 Autobots from Wave 1. Thank you very much for watching this kinda quick unboxing and review of the AMK Mini Series Generation 1 Soundwave. Feel free to do the usual like, comment, subscribe if you enjoyed the content. It does help support the channel, and I do appreciate it. Extra content will be on my Instagram account. Also feel free to check out the YouTube community. A little bit slow on some of the content right now, mainly because one, my recent scheduling in life has been a little bit upside down, and 2, I'm actually waiting on getting a new photo light booth. My previous one unfortunately has shed its mortal coil, and I do need a new one just so I can tackle some more, I don't want to say larger items, but just standard typical boxed items with a bigger box. Anyway, that being said, stay safe, take care. I will catch you all hopefully in next week's Transformers video, which will be either Optimus, Grimlock, or Bumblebee. I haven't decided yet for the AMK mini series. Otherwise, there's obviously other content on the channel. See ya.